Silent Giants and Loud Ants, written by Jack Harrison. The ocean sang with the music of giants, cetaceans, whales of every size, color, and culture filled the ocean with their magnificent music. The giants of the world that appeared and disappeared from sight in such short notice. Their songs could be heard miles away, and their incredible gatherings would be a spectacle only rivaled by the flood of colors flowing through the starry skies. Their bodies speak centuries of stories and knowledge that cannot be translated into words or any style of communication. Their movement across the planet churned up nutrients for the surrounding waters to bloom and grow life. Their gatherings brought eyes of wonder and amazement to witness such a gathering. They were found everywhere, from black frosty waters across the coldest regions that would make brave souls think twice, to the most clear and scintillating waters that would bring the soul, mind, and heart at peace. Wherever they went, they brought beauty that needed to be experienced to understand. When they died, their bodies gave resources to the darkest pits of the oceanic abyss. Life sprouted from their deaths as a key to keeping the seas alive for more generations. But it was not to last. A new species had emerged from the inside of the land. Their hunger for more and their desire to have access to all lands and waters brought their insatiable appetite for resources to the whales. Some sought benevolence to the whales, helping them and swimming the same waters as the whales did. But everywhere else, the colorful, clean waters of the world turned red with blood and silent from screams. The apes threw their weapons through the sky and water with impeccable accuracy, striking the giants. The giants of the water would swim faster and dive out of reach, but the apes would be right next to them whenever they resurfaced, like a plague, an unrelenting force of starvation and drive to kill. The whales swam as fast as they could, but the hunters would still be there. More weapons were thrown into their skin and flesh, blood polluting the waters as the giants tried to retreat. They tried so hard, with all of their might, to swim away, but giving up was alien to the hunters, and their terrible high-pitched screaming, their screams silenced the waters as they were clouded with blood. When a mother and calf were targeted, there was no escape. Young watched their mothers die a painful demise in front of their eyes. Their cries of horror deafened the water as they were showered in their mother's warm blood. Mothers saw their calves, so young and so joyous, be taken away from them in little time. Their crying silenced as they faded into death by an insatiable appetite for flesh and blood. The hunters struck the young and old, sick and healthy, of every species until they finally escaped into death. The hunters gathered their bodies and did not share their bodies with the world. They used the bodies of the giants for temporary trinkets and displays of privilege and control to the rest of their ignorant kind. To smell better, look better, and light their homes as the bottom grew hungry for a necessity that would never come to them. Dying riddled the bottom and surface of the oceans as the giants were hunted by the ants. The whales knew. They knew there was no way to fight back, so they had to change where they were. To survive, they had to find other grounds to rest and give birth. For a moment, there was comfort. They were away from danger. They were free. They sang to their heart's content as they embraced the new ways to live in peace again. But then the sounds of flesh-colored machines broke through the songs. The ants had returned, this time with more weapons and larger vessels. The metallic sheen christened the water with frightening speed, and their determination had become more lustful. They hunted in the sanctuaries. They hunted in the reefs, open water, gulfs, forests, desert landscapes, and the most ice-covered areas imaginable. There was nowhere to run or fight back. The weapons of the ants had embraced the incorrigible might of steel. In short breaths, one massive whale could be killed with a single shot and little effort. The ships carved paths of death and destruction as entire pods and families were slaughtered with no mercy. As they cried out for help and in fear of death, bathing their songs in warm blood and deafening their music in a chorus of chaos and fear, the oceans feel silent. Almost all the whales had been slaughtered. The apes' insatiable appetite for the ocean's giants had nearly rendered the ocean deaf. There was no music, no signs of life, not a single greeting, just loud silence in an empty patch of water. But as the years flew through the planet, the greatest thing happened. The giants were coming back, slowly. They came out of the hidden corners of the world and returned to the grounds they once thrived in. The apes had realized the massacres they had committed were too much, and they stopped. They grew an intelligence that was foreign to them. Empathy. The whales returned. Slowly, but noticeably, they came back. Some communities who would parade the slain giants as trophies were welcoming back the once lost giants that called the waters home before they did. Their music had came back. Their calves could swim the waters that were once marked for death and grow strong like their ancestors had. The giants could swim with the ants that would have hunted them years ago. And there was a new-found love for the giants. Love that such creatures could be equal to humans in their intelligence and their emotions. It was just spectacular. But new noises have erupted. The ants build machines to slaughter their neighbors over petty and small-minded reasons, and fight in the way of the giants who have no say in the matters whatsoever. Machines that track the environment and create noises that deafen the giants in distress, overpowering their singing and communication with a world with mindless white noise. The waters become hotter and food grows scarce. Food is not emerging in their usual sites, and the giants starve for food. They have no time for finding love in the ocean, but have become so desperate for food that they move to lands unfamiliar to them. Objects, trinkets, the apes throw into the waters with mindless regard for their ramifications, contaminate the water. Diseases spread from these disregarded trinkets and infect the giants. Their unborn suffer ailments and damage to their minds and bodies that cannot be treated or fixed. The ants' machines travel to nursery sites and smash into the giants, crushing or beating them until they choke on their own blood. Hunters from small pockets still hunt the giants, not out of necessity or safety, but as a sport, in taking the life of an equally intelligent species that does not look like themselves. The oceans have become crowded and contaminated, and the ants disregard the plights of the giants as they disregard the planet's cries for help. The giants are becoming silent again. as the world becomes more attuned to industrial nihilism, and the ants are getting louder and more greedy for more.